Hello, everybody. This is Fab4, and I'd like to welcome you to the Can I Fix It series, where I take the games that you just couldn't quite close out, and if I see if I can do anything to help you claim the victory on your opponent. For the first game here, I'm going to have myself versus Sai. Sai is going Giant Specialist, while I am playing as the Elite Specialist. For our first units, we have 2 Sledgehammers and 3 Crawlers for Sai. I got 2 Sledgehammers and 3 Marksmen for my board. Now, starting off with the position here, we can see that Sai is already going to be doing an aggro start. I take a little bit of time deciding on what I want to do for the first one, mostly because with Elite Specialist, it's a little hard defining, what kind of unit you want to pick up first, just because the cost is so high. I end up picking Crawlers, just because I'm missing some chaff that I want to have for the front. That way they can kind of intercept anything past the Sledgehammers. Sai ends up grabbing another set of Crawlers, as well as unlocking a Marksman, placing it behind everything. And I end up going ASIM aggro on the opposite side compared to him. Now, because of this, I also didn't place my Crawlers up to the front of the line, while Sai did, so his Crawlers are actually going to reach the tower before me. And because of that, his units now on the right side are going to be able to clean up my Sledgehammers, no problem. I do all right on the left side, but now he has so many more Crawlers compared to me that he's going to be able to just kind of push through and clear out the rest of my units over here. And these Sledgehammers are just going to take out these level 2 Crawlers, no problem. All right, on to round 2. We get a card drop. We got Improved Firepower, Improved Scorpion, Extended Range Vulcan, and Elite Tarantula. Now, looking at these cards here, we already see that Sai has picked up a Improved Firepower. Whereas for me, I think about it for a little bit. I probably end up picking Improved Firepower Control System. The Improved Scorpion is a pretty good pickup. It's only by 50, but the problem with being Elite Specialist is that I'm already having level 2 Scorpions, so the price is just going to be a little too high for me for buying those units, especially for unlocking them at 100. The Vulcan Extended Range can be good, but I know that he's a Giant Specialist, so I don't really see a reason for picking that up because it's not going to be super great against the Giants right now, or if he grabs them in the future. The Tarantula is kind of the same boat as the Scorpion. It's just going to be too high price to unlock it and start producing those units, and I'm going to be spending way too much money on these early rounds. So I end up picking the Improved Firepower, and I actually pick up some Mustangs and equip those with them. Now, it's a bit of a weird pickup, especially just for the Mustangs. But for me, the reason I picked this up is because the Improved Firepower is very strong on units that attack very quickly. It just gives them that extra boost in damage to deal with anything. And they can also be really strong for taking out extra chaff. Especially when we see Sai here, who has now picked up 2 more Fangs to cover his front. I'm about to place my Mustangs over here to try and maybe push over on this other tower. I think I decide that he's probably going to be pushing this tower since he got to it faster, especially with the Crawlers. So I end up putting the Mustangs over here to deal with his wave of units coming in. And we can see that actually helps out a lot. And with the Improved Firepower, they're able to deal with the Sledgehammers very easily. It also helps distract some of his Crawlers as well, to pull them into the Mustangs. And since he didn't really do anything to help defend his left tower besides leveling it up, I'm able to take the tower at a really good timing. And now these Mustangs are able to just go in and clean up the rest of his units, along with the Marksmen as well. All right, on to round 3. We get another unit drop. We got 2 air units with the Phantom Rays and the Phoenixes, as well as some Scorpions, or just one singular one, and triple Arclight. Now, normally, if you want to pick up these triple drops if you can, just because it's 3 unit drops. You only get a couple per round, unless you want to spend some extra money. But as Elite Specialist, that's even more money for me if I want to start doing that. So these are a pretty good pickup. Though I already picked up the Mustangs, and that's pretty much going to be my chaff clear, as well as my anti-air as well. And I do have marksman already too, so I don't really need a reason for grabbing arc lights. Scorpions are good for just some high burst damage, as well as a little bit of splash damage as well for dealing with sledgehammers. Again, I don't really see a reason for that yet. Where the air units kind of seem like more of a thing to pick up because it only has one marksman, where I has 3. So mine can deal with the air units if he has those. And they could also deal with the other units that he would pick up as well. We both end up going Phoenixes. And he decides to equip them with the improved firepower that he grabbed last round. Just so they can have that extra burst in damage. So in case I ever level up my tower to 2, all it takes is 1 shot from each to take out the tower. I grab another set of Phoenixes and some crawlers to put in front of my Mustangs. Just as some extra chaff for the Mustangs themselves so they don't get targeted by other units. And I place both my Phoenixes over here, trying to push in the tower on the left side a little bit more. We also notice that he did level up the left side to level 2, so it's going to be that much harder to take the tower. All right, I'm on this beginning of the round. A little bit of action here in the front. We're going to see what's going on this right side now. We also just noticed that he put in a couple flanks of arc lights behind me, but they're a little too slow, and I placed my units on the inside of the tower, so they're not going to get pulled over by this arc light. I do take the tower on him, which helps out, but the only issue is these Phoenixes. Now, they do have a slow attack. I only have so many units on this side, and the Mustangs are going to be clogged up by these sledgehammers, especially at rank 2. Double the life means it's going to just take them that much longer to take them out. So even with losing the Mustangs and losing both my towers here, the left side has done really well with clearing out all of his units. And he only has a handful left. And so these marksmen are going to be able to easily clean up the rest of his units. I even take the left tower as well, or the right tower. And I'm able to just kind of clear up these last 2 arc lights and take the win on round 3. All right, on to round 4. We get some regular card drops. We got a shield drop, sticky oil, electromag, and a steel ball production. Nothing really super crazy about the steel ball production. There's a reason for him to pick it up just because he is a giant specialist. Electromag can be strong, but none of us have picked up shields yet. And there's no techs in sight right now, so there's not really a big reason for that, because that's mostly good for taking out the tech on something. So the 2 options are going to be shield drop or sticky oil. And for both of us, the sticky oil is probably going to be the best option, just since we both have units on the front line. We can use this oil to slow down his units so we can't take the tower as fast. Shield drop can be useful as well, just to kind of protect some of these units. Like, I could even place it over here with my Mustangs so that they can kind of safely shoot at the enemy while they kind of hide in safety. What we notice now, on round 4, Sai has now decided to use his giant specialist and picks up his Overlord for this round. For me, I grab a couple more crawlers, and I decided to use them as flank protectors, mostly because rank 2 crawlers are going to be able to survive for a couple shots against rank 1 arc lights. And I also grabbed some missiles too to place here, just in case he loads them up with more crawlers. As well as another marksman up here in the front, just so we can kind of start targeting this tower a little bit faster. Unfortunately, he ranked it up to 3, so it's going to be that much harder to take, and the debuff's only going to last for about 3 seconds, even if I do take it. Now, if we watch here over on this right side, it's going to be about the same story as we had before. My Mustangs are going to get kind of caught up on all these big units here on the ground. And the Phoenixes, and even this marksman over here, along with the Overlord, are going to be able to just kind of clean out the rest of it. But my left side is still proving a bit stronger. I was able to take the tower before him. And I'm even able to get lock-ons on the Phoenixes, so I'm able to hit those first and not get caught up on the chaff. And as this kind of goes on, we notice that the chaff are kind of getting in front, but my units are able to clear them out, and we're finally able to get a lock-on this Overlord. And the marksmen take it out, and we finish off the rest of the little guys. All right, on to round 5. We get another unit drop. Looking at here, you got Steel Balls, Stormcallers, Scorpions, and Sabertooths. 2 of about the same units right here. Just one has splash damage, one's more single target. Stormcallers are probably a decent pickup for either one of us, just because we have just some slower moving units, and the Stormcallers will be able to take out the Marksmen and the Sledgehammers, leaving him with just Phoenixes to take care of. And with his own Marksmen and Phoenixes, along with an Overlord, especially if he gets this Mothership upgrade, it'll be able to take out the Phoenixes no problem. I go for a Sabertooth, mostly just because it's a good insurance against some large giant units, whereas Sai grabs Steel Balls, which seems a little bit odd, but my logic here as to why he would do that is he's just trying to have units that can push in faster to take the tower, because I've yet to put any resources into leveling up this tower. So if he takes this faster than I can take his, then that 9-second debuff is going to be enough for him to start just pushing in damage. But I finally decide to grab range and 2 more Mustangs on this right side to help defend it a little bit more, as well as maybe deal with any other air units he picks up. We can actually see that he does pick up a couple more Overlords and starts to line them up on this right side so we can kind of just push into the tower even faster. We can see this Sabertooth over here takes out the Arc Light no problem. Crawlers do the same, and the last one sadly does kind of get pulled off to the side. But now we can see with these extra 2 Mustangs put in, they're able to lock on to these Overlords, and even these Steel Balls are not able to hold off against these Mustangs. And plus the oil slows down his units enough to where these Overlords get into range of the Mustangs first. I also take off his tower. Pretty good timing, so that the Overlord, when it takes a shot, isn't able to take out the Sabertooth, and then he has to take an extra shot on there. And because of that, I get the round 5 win and drop him down to 1,000. So on to round 6 here. I only have maybe a round or 2 left to just kind of push in some extra damage and claim the victory here. I go ahead and grab me an amplifying core to put on my Mustangs to make them that much stronger. But I decide to grab aerial specialization and range on the Phoenixes, because I'm looking to use these as a way to take out the Overlords. The only issue is on this right side, I don't really have a lot of chaff clear. So all of these Phoenixes and Marksmen are going to get caught up on all the small units. And I'm not able to target these, and the Overlords are going to be able to push in, especially with the artillery shot now. They get into range, and their shots will be able to take out the Marksmen, the Sledgehammers, and even the Sabertooth as well. I then decide to grab 2 more Marksmen over here to kind of help protect this wreck side, hoping that these will be able to target the Overlords. Only issue is, as soon as he's getting range, the artillery will just one-shot the Marksmen, and I have no protection in front of them as well. We also see a missile from him as well, just kind of slow down my units. And now without the oil too, all of his units are able to start just pushing in. And all of these Mustangs, even with range, have to spend their whole time locking onto the smaller units. We also see this Overlord right here was able to get an artillery shot on the tower. And it makes it that much harder to deal with the Steel Balls and even all the rest of his units as well. And because of that now, the Overlords are able to clean up everything on the right and just slowly push in and deal with the rest of the Mustangs. Well, it's the same thing on the left side. Because of that tower take, he's able to just clean up. And even this artillery shot too, if we watch it, takes out a Marksman, no problem, while he focuses on the Sledgehammers with the main shots. And we can see here that this is where Sai makes a big comeback on me. All right, now sadly here for round 7, we won't be able to see all of it because about halfway or so through it, there's a surrender on my side. But I think what ends up happening is Sai ends up grabbing 2 or I think 3 more Overlords and actually grabs the Mothership upgrade. It's a great counter against these marksmen. And I don't even have the aerial specialization on the Mustangs, which would be the perfect counter to that Mothership. I also believe I decided to go melting points to try and deal with them as well. The only issue is with the Mothership tech, they're going to focus on the Wasps. And since there's at least 4 of them right here, that's going to be 20 of them that they have to kind of work through. And before they can get through the Wasps, these Overlords are going to just artillery out the melting points and even just take the regular shots that take them out. So because of that, he ends up just pushing through on this right tower again, taking it. And then because of that, he's able to just mop up the rest of the Mustangs and even push in on this left side like he did before. So we're actually going to go back to round 6. And take control here of myself. And we're going to change up a few things. The amplifying core is still the pickup for the units. Place it on some of the higher level Mustangs. But now, instead of grabbing this aerial specialization in range on the Phoenixes, we're going to get the aerial on the Mustangs. And if you look at this, the Phoenixes, they're not really doing too much on this left side anyways. There's a lot of chaff right here, and they are kind of dealing with the sledgehammers, but I already have marksmen to do that anyways. And I also just would like a little bit extra cash to grab a couple more Mustangs without having to go into rapid supply and go into a loan. So I'm going to go ahead and sell these left ones. Grab a couple more Mustangs and kind of layer them here, forming a nice little line. But I actually am going to grab the rapid resupply. Get enhanced range from the tower and get some more oil. And place it down here so we can slow down his units. That way the Overlords march in and my Mustangs are able to target the Overlords a little bit faster. I'm even going to go ahead and missile these left fangs as well. That way all these units on the left side can target the sledgehammers, and then once those are gone, they'll be able to focus with my rest of the units on the right as well. So the oil goes down, and we look over here on the right side. Mustangs lock onto the Overlord. That's 1 down. They lock onto another one, and they've now all take their targets as we see them just disappear from the sky. And now because the oil, all of his units are slowed down. And this is where the steel balls kind of fall short because they have to focus on all these little crawlers. And the Mustangs might struggle a little bit with them, but I do have this sledgehammer here, or a saber tooth, to help deal with that. As we can see here, I've completely changed the ending of this game. He only had about 1,000 life left, and we did over 2,000 to him. So looking back at what we changed up here, we got rid of one of the Phoenixes. And we also skipped on the upgrades for the Marksman and the Phoenix. Because the Marksman can take out the Overlords. The only issue is that there's too much chaff on the ground for them to deal with. And these artillery shots, even if they get close enough, the artillery shots can just one-shot them. And I don't have enough Marksmen to do enough damage to one-shot them if I have like a few more. It might be better. Whereas these Mustangs are going to be able to take them out just the same, and they'll be able to deal with the Mothership tech as well. Especially, too, if these rounds go on for even longer. Sai has a chance to pick up even more Overlords, and if he starts kind of lining them up on this left side as well, it's just going to become that much harder to deal with. That also just increases the number of Wasps that he's going to have producing from each one. And if he's able to take it over on this left side and get this tower before I can deal with these ones on the right, then all these Mustangs aren't going to be helpful at all, and he'll just push in and take out the rest of the damage. And having these Overlords, it's just more damage to do to my health. And so with that, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this first episode of Can I Fix It? If you'd like me to check out your own replays, I'll be checking out the Solve a Replay forum on the Mechabellum Discord, and I'll be seeing if I can fix some other people's problems as well. I do as well have some other games that I'll be showing as well that I have replays saved, where I'm able to turn around the game just at the last moment there as well. And if you also would like to check me out on Twitch, you can come find me at twitch.tv/fab4200, where I stream daily, doing some Mechabellum as well as some other games as well. And also don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Can I Fix It?